So we need to have a little chat. If you've been following me at all on social media, it has been impossible to miss my passion about health and well-being. I've been sharing it like crazy. Fitness, eating, playing, family, all of it wrapped together. And almost all of the consequences have been delightfully positive. But there have been a few unintended consequences that I'd like to address. It's happened more than once that I've gone out to eat with somebody, or had somebody over, or been in a casual conversation, and there's been food around, or the waiter or waitress has come up and it's been time to order. And inevitably, the other person will make some sort of comment about, oh, please don't watch what I'm getting ready to order. Or, this may not be as good as what you have at home, but... And I cringe. I cringe. I really don't want to be that person. You know the type. The one who's always parading and showing off their food choices and their health and their wellness, and you know behind closed doors they're secretly judging you for every single thing that you are eating and not eating and doing and not doing. That's not me. Let's be honest. I have my coffee. It's not black. It's got some of that artificial sweetener stuff in it that's so delicious and so unhealthy. And look, chemicals. Yeah. I still make choices that are based more on my delight than on what I think that I should be doing. And I don't judge myself for it. Nor do I, or will I ever judge you for the choices that you are making. This brings me to the most important part of this entire video. And something that I should have done in the very beginning of all of this well-being, introduction, health, fitness, all of this stuff, was addressing the first and foremost important aspect of this. What I am guiding us into, what I am journeying with you into, is mindful and non-judgmental well-being. That is so crucial to understand. That is what we are going to go back to again and again, is the non-judgment. We are learning to love the feeling of well-being. That's the whole practice. Anything that I'm offering to you, that's the practice. We're falling in love with feeling well, with being well, deep within. If we're judging ourselves, because that's where it starts, self-judgment. If we're judging ourselves for the food choices that we're making, the exercises that we're not doing, the meditation that we accidentally skipped this morning, or perhaps purposefully skipped, the creative act that didn't get done, the job that hasn't been left, it adds a tremendous amount of weight. Nobody wants to carry that weight around all of the time. That stressful, heavy weight of should. No matter what you are doing throughout the day, if you're eating the healthiest whole food, locally grown, organic salad after you've run 20 miles, if you are still feeling the weight of that should on your shoulders, you're not going to love the feeling. There's so much to this non-judgment, to the practice of releasing judgment, to the exploration of it, that I can't even begin to address it all in this one video. But I want it to be the cornerstone of everything that we do, everything that you do, is being mindful about releasing that judgment that you have on yourself and that you may or may not place on others. There's a book that I read recently that I'd love to recommend to you. I've got so many resources that I'm going to be sharing, but this one in particular is relevant to our non-judgment conversation. It's called Foodist. Foodist. Isn't that a fun little name? I love it. I love it. For those who can't see, it's by Daria Pena-Rose. Dr. Daria Pena-Rose. Pena-Rose. Sorry, I think I pronounced that incorrectly. But it is a fantastic book. The subtitle is Using Real Food and Real Science to Lose Weight Without Dieting. And while she does talk about losing weight in here, this isn't necessarily all about weight. It's learning to eat healthy, but to love the food that you're eating. Talk about non-judgment. I'll read a little section in here that will kind of derail us for a minute, but that will tie back along. It talks about willpower. Strength and willpower are that thing that I've talked about before that you see a lot on workout videos and stuff like that, that just, if you can have a little bit more willpower to power through this exercise, or that willpower to walk past that cookie that's right there, then baby, you can do it. And if you take that cookie, it's your fault. You don't have the willpower. But something that they touch upon in this book and that I've seen elsewhere is that we have a limited reserve of willpower. It's kind of like if you've ever played one of those video games where you see the power up bar and it goes do 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 do, and then you wear it down do 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 do, and you have to wait for it to refill, Okay, so I have a son, so I'm used to this whole video game thing. Forgive the metaphor. You'll understand that willpower can be used only so much, and then it goes down and it depletes. Think about the amount of times that you use willpower throughout your day, not just in food, not in dieting, not in exercise, but in everything. Perhaps willpower to avoid saying that thing to the other person who just said something you really want to reply, but no, you're not going to. You're going to do that. The willpower to avoid honking at the person in front of you in traffic. The willpower that sometimes it takes just to get up in the morning and get going. We do a lot of things throughout our life where we use our willpower, and then we have to rest, recharge, and back we go. If we're relying on ourselves to use willpower consistently throughout the day, we're going to feel drained, number one, and number two, we're going to fail. You cannot consistently go through your day with your cravings for food and rely on willpower alone to make it through. You'll feel miserable. You'll always be thinking about food, that craving, that thing that you want, whatever it might be. And eventually, you're going to give in. It's just how it works. Section right here. Treating long-term repetitive behaviors like eating and exercising as individual acts. Remember that. Individual acts that require willpower in every instance creates many opportunities for failure. The more effective strategy is to use willpower to set up routines that eventually become automatic. When these behaviors become habitual and no longer require mental effort, willpower is reserved for the most critical decisions. Now, remember how we talked about that non-judgment in the beginning? This willpower ties right into it. What we are looking to do is to make these practices part of a mundane lifestyle. As you learn to love the feeling of well-being, these things that are seemingly difficult right now, perhaps to choose maybe the salad over the cheeseburger, those things will just become part of life. It's just what you do. You love feeling healthy. Choice A makes you feel healthy. Choice B, not so much. You choose choice A, not because of willpower, not because you know you should, but because it's what your body craves and what you naturally do. There's all sorts of practices outside of food and outside of exercise. Those are the easy ones to focus on. But things like, should I go create right now or sit down and watch my TV show because I'm on episode 5 and oh my gosh, I got to find out what happens. No judgment. No judgment. There's not one choice that's right or wrong, good or bad. They just have different consequences. As you learn to become aware of those consequences, you start making choices that perhaps give you the consequences that you want to experience, the feeling of well-being. So, I know I've gone all over the place, and this is one of the reasons that I decided to do a video instead of writing. I get wordy. I know it. If I sit there and wait for myself to filter through all of this and get it in some pretty little format that I can either type up or sound all nice and pretty in when I talk, I never get something out. So I figure it's better to just share these ideas with you. Hope that you can make it through this 11-minute, 12-minute video. And understand the important concepts that we are truly looking to experience the feeling of well-being, to fall in love with the feeling of well-being, to release judgment, and to stop relying on willpower to make it all through. I'd love to know what you think. Has something in this video stood out for you? Some practice, something that you find yourself struggling with, something that you'd like more help with? See, I hate ending sentences with prepositions. It's just, let me know. Comment, send me a message, send me an email. I would love to know. There's so much more that's going to be coming. Resources, thoughts, contemplations, actions, daily practices to share with you. And I want to make sure that we're along the same lines because I want to make this journey as powerful as possible for both of us. Thank you so much for listening. Good luck on your journey today towards increased well-being and awareness.